His name is Oleg, he is the son of a Moscow oligarch. He got used to acting as he wanted until a new teacher appeared one day, and he decided to teach her a lesson for receiving a bad grade. What will the whims of a spoiled guy lead to? It's Mary Recaps with you. And today, I will tell you about the movie The Prank. Oleg Komarov grows up under the control of a strict father, who monitors his son's school progress, goes jogging with him every morning, and does not forget to give wise, albeit, and a little intrusive advice. He reminds the young man that the final exams are ahead, and this is almost the finish line, so now he can't relax under any circumstances. Oleg does not argue with his father. He packs his bag and goes to school, where he meets his classmates, cheerful but arrogant Ilya Korbut, a computer genius and the son of Nobel laureate Gera and womanizer Andrei. In addition, the modest Taya, who is well versed in mathematics but is not popular because of her old clothes and complexes, and the beautiful Tanya, Oleg's girlfriend, study in Oleg's class. At school, the young man is doing well, he is the undisputed leader of the class and the favorite of teachers. It was taken care of by Oleg's father, who supplies the school with computers, sports equipment, and impressive amounts of money. Teachers are directly hinting at the need to donate a car to the school, and most likely, the oligarch will simply do it because graduation is essential for his heir. Oleg does not consider it necessary to be wary when the head teacher, Maria Vasilievna, brings the newcomer Igor Glushko to school. What danger to his authority can get an ordinary guy who came to the capital from a small provincial town without money and connections? However, Igor is not shy about his origin and social status. He is calm, self-confident, and immediately rebuffs Ilya when he tries to provoke a newcomer into a conflict. In addition, Oleg has more complex problems. Another newcomer appears at the school, this time a trainee teacher of English, Vera Ivanovna, who asks Oleg, who is late for the lesson, to tell him about himself in English and gives him a C for poor knowledge of tenses and articles. Oleg is outraged. None of the teachers dared to behave like this with the son of an oligarch. It's even more annoying that newcomer Igor not only gets an A for his excellent English knowledge, but also amazes the whole class by reading his rap during the lesson. Oleg's younger sister Svetlana tells her father about a C received by the guy, and he refuses to give his son pocket money until the grade is corrected. It's not so scary, Oleg has enough time left to go bowling with his friends that evening, but he doesn't like the situation and can't relax. Annoyed, he leaves the bowling alley in a taxi and accidentally recognizes the driver as the father of his classmate Gera. It turns out that the stories about the Nobel Prize were just a miserable lie. To provide for himself and his son, a man must carry passengers around the city like an ordinary Moscow taxi driver. Morning comes. Taya takes care of her hysterical mother, persuading the woman to eat, and suffers reproaches that her daughter does not want to wear her old clothes but dreams of jeans and fashionable clothes. On the way to school, the girl faces the mockery of her classmates, but today she is lucky, a newcomer Igor comes to the aid of Taya, who clearly sympathizes with the girl. Meanwhile, Oleg meets with an English teacher in the corridor as if to improve relations, and he secretly clings a condom filled with white liquid to her bag. Vera, who did not notice, put the bag on the table in front of the whole class. The students started laughing at her, and she ran out the door in tears. The students are having fun, making obscene jokes, and only Igor throws a condom out the window, almost getting into a fight with Oleg's friends. The guys are only stopped by the appearance of the head teacher, who cleans up the classroom, while the sobbing Vera in the teacher's room is given water and calmed down. By an effort, the woman comes to her senses, returns to the classroom, and, guessing who pranked her, puts Oleg, who is not ready for the lesson, a D. The boy's father is furious. The son promised him to correct the assessment and let him down. For the first time, he does not go jogging with Oleg, makes him wash the floors in the school corridor with his hands, and promises to send the guy to the army in case of another failure. Oleg pretends to repent but mentally vows to take revenge on Vera for the humiliation he experienced. Taya is going on a date with Igor, secretly from her mother, changing into beautiful clothes at the entrance. She has been in love with Oleg for many years, but the girl likes Igor, and his attention is pleasant. Taya spends time in the guy's apartment, listening to his songs, and young people go for a walk around the city together. The first date is followed by the second and third. And even Taya's mother suddenly begins to feel and understand the music Igor writes. Oleg again plans revenge on Vera. Now he enlists the computer genius Gara, whom Tanya helps to charm. Tequila, a beautiful girl, and skillful arguments work. Gara agrees to get a database with the phones of school students, and PE teacher Alexander Ivanovich lets the guy into the teacher's room for $300, where he finds Vera's file. The next day, students receive a mass mailing with a nude photo of an English teacher, corrected in Photoshop. The same images appear on adult sites with Vera's actual phone number. The teacher has a nervous breakdown, and she ends up in the hospital. Oleg, in the company of friends, celebrates victory. And only Tanya is unhappy with how things turned out. She begins to flirt with Gara, who willingly responds to the girl's kisses and even gives her a flash drive with compromising information on Oleg. Oleg sees what is happening and decides to take revenge. He still has a business card from Gara's father. All you need to do is call him to the club so that his friends can see who exactly the Nobel laureate works for. In the car, while the embarrassed Gara hides his face under the hood and turns to the window, Oleg forces his father to entertain the company with songs, promising him $15,000 more than the usual fee. Gara is morally crushed. At home, he throws a real tantrum and demands that his father no longer work part-time in a taxi. Taya manages to get the keys to the utility room, which organizes rehearsals for Igor's musical group. Oleg has long disliked the newcomer because of his growing popularity. He finds a great opportunity to humiliate his rival by offering to meet Taya in love. Without hesitation, the girl runs to the guy's call, leaving Igor. Tanya finds out about the date. She begins to threaten Oleg with the fact that she will reveal information from the flash drive to everyone, but the guy does not take her words seriously. Even the ring his girlfriend returns to him does not make Oleg change his mind. He meets Taya and takes her to the store to finally win a poor girl's heart with expensive things. However, Taya does not need new clothes. She is ready to be with Oleg for free, so she easily agrees to spend the night in a hotel. The seriousness of the girl and her sincere love impress the guy. Cynical and utterly devoid of a romantic mood, he enjoys talking with Taya and even steals a trolley bus to ride around the city together, but this does not make him change his plans. In the morning, Taya, inspired by night before, comes to school in a new look. She is beautiful, confident, and relaxed. Igor understands that the girl preferred another to him. He resentfully tells Taya that she is no better than Oleg and Tanya, only they do not hide their essence, and she pretends to be different, although, in fact, she always wanted to become one of them. The angry girl leaves Igor and sees Tanya sobbing on the bench. Kind and unable to rejoice in someone else's grief, Taya hugs and comforts her. Tanya does not seem to hold evil in her soul. The girls drink alcohol together and climb onto the roof to talk privately. However, Tanya will not at all forgive the one who took her boyfriend away from her. Standing on the roof's edge, she almost pushes her opponent down and declares that Taya will always remain a loser, no matter how hard she tries to change. Oleg is in serious trouble. Gara, whose father he insulted, told the director about everything that happened, and now the guy is threatened with expulsion from school. It would seem that it is necessary to correct the situation, but Oleg has gone too far. The only thing that occupies his thoughts is revenge on the head teacher, Maria Vasilyevna, who initiated the expulsion. The guy shaves his head to prove to his father that he is ready to join the army, sells a laptop and gadgets, and then rushes to Taya. The guy tells a naive girlfriend a fictional sentimental story about a letter of apology written for Maria Vasilyevna and asks the girl to toss the envelope into the head teacher's purse. She readily agrees, believing that Oleg is much better than everyone thinks about him. At the pedagogical council, Oleg boldly defends himself, declaring to the audience that he just pranked the teacher. There is nothing wrong with that. Even Maria Vasilyevna promised to protect him and take money for it. The indignant head teacher shakes out the contents of her purse on the table, and everyone sees dollars in a blue envelope. It seems that Oleg's plan to discredit the head teacher was a success, but Taya cannot tolerate injustice. She jumps to her feet, confesses everything, and asks Oleg not to do meanness. She still believes that he is a good person at heart. However, the guy pushes her away in disgust and publicly insults her, stating that he slept with the girl without any pleasure. She is so disgusting to him. Taya, whose whole world is collapsing at that moment, runs away from the council and tries to poison herself, but Igor saves her, realizing she is in danger. The young man finds the girl under the stairs, drags her to the toilet, gives her water to drink, and induces vomiting to flush her stomach. The guy's delicacy is enough to not only save his lover who left him, but not to tell anyone about it and save the girl from someone else's curiosity. At the end of the pedagogical council, Maria Vasilyevna sums up, Oleg is to blame, and it will be fair to punish him, but this will break the guy's life. By the general decision, Oleg is allowed to take exams. Everyone is happy at the graduation party. Gera's father is invited to work at the Manchester Institute. Taya has recovered from the shock and is ready to build her life. Igor's group performs on stage. Yasha invites teacher Vera to meet because he already has a diploma, to which she informs with a smile that she has a fiancé. And only Oleg stands alone in the hall, without friends and a girlfriend, and sees Taya lovingly looking at the singing Igor. It was merry with you. See you in the following videos. Bye bye.